I know that you're wondering where I have been because I know you guys care so much about me. Anyway, I was diagnosed with the worst hemorrhoids in the freaking world right before a 15-hour economy flight to Japan. So I don't think you can imagine the kind of pain I had to go through. But surprisingly, the hemorrhoids just healed itself within 48 hours of reaching Japan, which was a world record by itself. I don't know how the that happened, but yeah, I'm okay now. Anyway, enough with the bullshit. Bagra Fortress. I think I like this map. The size is okay, not too big, not too small. It's just good. I think that this map would have been more memorable and beautiful to look at if they just added some color into it. And I know it's supposed to be some kind of old fortress, so it's supposed to be sandy and gray, but I still think that it can use some color. Anyway, it's one of those maps that will probably be forgettable, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It also doesn't mean it's good. It's just there. It exists. So yeah, B tier. Shoothouse. I don't even need to explain this map. Actually, I don't think any map is worth explaining because if you're watching this video, then you probably know every single map. Otherwise, if you're watching this and you don't even own the game, what are you doing here? Get the fuck out. I have to say that I don't really like the reskin of the map, but I'm not sure if it's just because I'm used to the old design or if it's really objectively worse. But it really doesn't matter because the map plays exactly the same. Say what you want about this map being unoriginal, but it works and people love it so much. So I'm gonna give it an S tier. Breenbergh. How the fuck am I supposed to read this? Whatever. Anyway, the hotel. If you don't know, this is based off of a real life hotel and it's really fun to go to booking.com and see the pictures and just be fascinated about how accurately it's depicted in the game. One thing I hate about this map is there are a lot of cover to hide behind, which leads to a lot of situations where you don't know where the shots are coming from. Even if you manage to know, it would be a really bad idea to go back to the same location because the guy who killed you probably moved to a different cover within the same area. So good luck predicting where he is. I guess we can blame the architect who designed the hotel for the bad design choices because technically it's not Infinity Ward's fault. But anyway, I think it's a B tier. Embassy. I really have nothing to highlight about this map. Like, it's just okay. It's not really great, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just decent, you know? This map will probably be forgotten like a lot of other maps, which is fine because it's impossible for every map to be so unique and memorable. Actually, I take that back because almost every map from the original Modern Warfare 2 was memorable for me, but I'm not sure if they were really memorable or it's because I have played the game so much. Anyway, Embassy, B tier. Crown Raceway. This map is my absolute favorite new map from Modern Warfare 2. I was worried that this will be Piccadilly 2.0 because it kinda has the exact same color scheme. But no, this is not even close to how horrible it was. The flow and the layout are just so smooth, everything makes sense. It might be a bit bigger than the smaller fan favorite maps, so I think it would benefit from one of Vanguard's best features, or maybe the only good feature, which is combat pacing. Because I think this map would play much better if it was maybe 8v8, 10v10, or even 12v12. Out of all the maps that were introduced in Modern Warfare 2, this is the only one that stood out for me, which makes it deserving of an A tier. Asilo. I kinda have a love-hate relationship with this map. When I'm playing one life game modes like Search and Destroy, it's really fun, but when I'm playing respawn game modes, it's just terrible. It's maybe that this map is not optimized for all game modes, which explains why you can have a totally different experience depending on what game mode you play. Another complaint I have is that there's barely anything happening in the outside area, which feels like wasted space, as opposed to the middle area where all the action is happening. Anyway, with that said, I give this map a C tier. Farm 18. As a Call of Duty player, I am gonna be biased towards smaller maps. That's just the nature of the game. I don't think anybody hops into Call of Duty to sprint for half the time without encountering any enemies in the way. That would be just fucking boring. This is one of those small maps, so obviously I like it. The one problem I have faced with this map is that the middle area is a heaven for campers with shotguns. Like, it's really easy to camp with a shotgun because there are many corners and cover that you can hide behind. But I gotta admit that I do it sometimes and it's really fun to do. I can't really tell if it's a genuinely good map or I just like it because it was the only small map that was included in the game, but I think it deserves an A tier. Mercado Las Almas. This is another map that will probably be forgotten because it really doesn't have anything memorable to talk about, which is okay because not every map is supposed to be memorable. I mean, some maps have to be forgotten so that other maps become memorable, right? Anyway, it's just a decent map that plays decent. The layout kinda reminds me of Hackney art from Modern Warfare 2019, and B tier. I don't really have anything to say. Taraq. Really, what's up with the names? Anyway, this is another big map, which is not great for 6v6. The problem with big maps is that when you die, you have to spend a lot of time just sprinting back to the action or back to the objective. And then when you get there, most of the time, you just get killed by a guy camping at some random location with the sniper. And good luck finding him because there are many spots where you can basically hide and head glitch. Anyway, I don't like the map. C tier. Border crossing. You thought Piccadilly was one of the worst maps ever made? Well, this takes the cake for being the worst of the worst. I think it's a good idea to take some parts of bigger maps and make them into 6v6 maps, because at the end we get more maps in total. But there are things that work and there are things that clearly don't work. And on top of the horrible layout and the terrible flow, we have these vehicles that are spread out in the entire map, which basically transforms the entire place into a freaking minefield where you can basically get fucked at any given moment. If you look at the layout for long enough, you will see a perfect illustration of the male genitals. I'm not even kidding. How appropriate. This is clearly an F tier. Zarqwa Hydroelectric. Okay, seriously, what's up with the names? This map is the only map that has the swimming mechanic, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it's really fun, especially in one life game modes. But other than the swimming mechanic, there's nothing really special about it. It's not bad, it's not great. So, B tier? Yeah, B tier. Shipment. Remember when I said, I don't think anybody hops into Call of Duty to sprint for half the time without encountering any enemies in the way? That would be just fucking boring. Well, with Shipment, there is no breathing space between you and the enemies. You just spawn and then you have to immediately kill or be killed. Despite the simplicity and despite it being a chaotic mess that takes place in a tiny square where people just spawn on top of each other, it's still fun and everybody loves it. Some people don't even bother opening the game if they know that Shipment 24/7 isn't there. So with that in mind, you may be mad at me for doing this, but I really think it deserves an S tier. This is my tier list up until the release of Shipment. I don't know if I will release another video every time they add a new map because that would be really repetitive. Maybe a YouTube Shorts would be a better option. I don't know. But anyway, let me know in the comments about your own tier list. So until next time, Jane, bye bye.